Kia ora. Today I bring you a problem that was a wee bit of a story behind it. But here we have the king of chess in the world, of course, Magnus Carlsen. And I was going to bring you a berserk game that he played, which berserk is 30 seconds for all his moves played. Okay, so that's Magnus. So there you go. There's the champion that we all want to try to emulate and play like. So there you go. Anyway, now I'll tell you a wee story, okay? It's Sunday night. Doesn't matter when it was, but once upon a time, Sunday night, 2 weeks ago almost to tomorrow's date, it's 10 past or 13 past 10 p.m, 10 o'clock at night. I'm sitting there watching TV and I'm alerted by a chess friend of mine who has just sent me the problem that you see in front of you right here now. And he sent me this chess problem and he posted it on my Facebook page. Okay? So here I am, and he said, white is to move, can white draw, or is this a loss? So this position is white to move and to draw. So I saw the position in the on my timeline post. And I sort of like mixed feelings really, because I thought, well, I can't really be bothered with doing a chess problem. You know, I've got chess problems here. Look, I've got this book here, which is fantastic. It's a fantastic chess book. So I can't really. I've even got Anatoly Karpov here, the signature. See, this is Anatoly Karpov, and he was in Sydney. But anyway, getting back to the story. I'm sure you want to hear about the story. So I'm sitting there watching TV, and it's not far away from, or it's already started. Eventually, it starts with the USA live cop program, live police. Not that it's live; it's recorded about 2 years ago or 5 years ago, or something like that for certain reasons or whatever. But so back to the story. So I'm sitting there looking at TV, and but you know, my mind's on this, and I think, oh, maybe I should just cheat. Okay, which is this book here. So this is How to Cheat at Chess, written by William R. Hartston, International Master of Chess. So back to the story. So I'm sitting there thinking, oh, maybe I'll just go and put the position on the computer and let Fritz work it out for me. Not that I'm using Stockfish or anything. I'm using Fritz 11. So I think maybe I'll do that. So white's to move here. So I think I'll do that. Oh, I can't be bothered. I'm just, it's too late, and I don't want it to annoy me, which it was. But that would probably annoy me more, I think. Maybe that would annoy me more. So what I think is, in the ads for the TV I was watching that Sunday night into the Monday AM morning, I was thinking, about this position. I was thinking, like this. I was thinking, look, looks like that move, but that looks pretty dodgy after that and that. It looks pretty dodgy. So I thought, Now, there were actually rules for solving problems. So, but one of them is, don't put it on your computer and work it out that way. And even like I say here in this program for you at home or wherever you are, I say to you this: it's best to do it in your head. So guess what? I was wanting to just, I'll put it out on a position, and I'll set the board up, and I'll put the position on the board, and I'll play around with the pieces, breaking all my principles. So, but then I thought, no, I won't really like myself, because when I report to him my findings, it will look like I've calibrated it from the given information from my computer or similar. So here I am, verbose like usual, which is the complaint that I've had from my my wives in my life. There are good things about me, but one of them is not verbose. Can be at times. It could be. But anyway, back to the story. So I'm sitting there going, arbitrating or arbitrarily thinking to myself, what do I do? Should I cheat and just make it sound like I know the solution really, really quick? Because with this player, this chess player friend of mine, he tends to like to give me a problem that I might not be able to solve. So I could say, well, maybe he doesn't want me. I hope you're working on the problem, by the way. White's to move. He might be giving me these problems to prove to me that I can't play chess. And because I think that there are a lot of people, mainly me, in New Zealand, like me only, that are not very good at chess, because this sort of problem can make me think I can't play chess. So I decided to, part 2 of this story, I decided to try to work it out. Okay? So in the ad break, I was not getting my chess position. I was not getting my chessboard. I was not getting my demonstration board here on the computer. I wasn't doing anything like that. I had no chess pieces or board in front of me, not even a board. So what I was doing is I was working it out of my head, and I was thinking, oh no, this is impossible. So I can see all the main lines. I can see all the main sort of lines. So I thought, how does White do this? And I was thinking this a whole lot, and I thought, hang on, because one of the rules in chess problems, working them out, is not to do something. But this is actually breaking that wee rule. And so that's a wee bit of a clue to the first move. So what is it we're told not to do in chess problems for the first move, generally speaking? And it's quite true in this case. We get told from a very early age, the chess player's bedside book, I learnt that you never ever find it with an obvious move like a what? Like a what? A check. But I was sitting there thinking about this in my head, and I was thinking, well, you know, so what? What's the check's going to do? Or check. What's a check going to do? It's going to move the king. Or if I check with the rook, I've got 2 checks here. I've got rook c8, which is this move here, okay? Or I've got the other check, rook h3 check, which hopefully black plays bishop h5 to cloak the defense of their king, and where I would just take the bishop with check and then return to the square or that square, both reasonably good for white, in my opinion. So anyway, I was sitting there and I was thinking, shall I take the challenge up? And I was really, really discussing this with myself that Sunday almost 2 weeks ago. So I was really, really, really discussing with myself, what will I do? Because I'm at home, I'm on my own. No one can see what I do. And so I thought for quite a while about these checks. Now, if you would like to notice that if it's black's move, then black will just simply play bishop f3 check and pawn to d1 queen. So is that any good? And I'm titling this this one today, this story today, the continuing story of David Wegener here, with trying to show you whether or not you can learn anything from my take on the game. So my title is Chess to Rook or Not to Rook, and that might be, if I add to it, then it will make it a lot longer. So my chess friend has maybe given this to me for ulterior motives. Maybe they've given it to me to just show me that I'm not very good at chess, and I don't mind agreeing. So I was sitting there saying, will I take the challenge up or won't I? And so I decided at this point in time that I'm going to take the challenge up. And I'm not only going to take the challenge up, but I'm also going to take the challenge up of my own challenge to myself, to work it all out in my head. Now the thing is about working out a problem that I learnt from a very early young age, a long time ago, like about 422 years ago. I learnt a very important thing when you get a mind block. I've even forgotten the correct terminology for mental block. Yeah. So when you get a mental block, the best thing to do is to think about something else. So I was watching this chess program. I mean, not chess program, because that's the worst thing to do. I was watching this TV program, and in the ads I was thinking about this, other than making a cup of tea or whatever and doing other things that we need to do, of course. I was thinking about this problem in my head. So what am I going to do? I was thinking about it, and then the TV program finished at 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 a.m. New Zealand time, which is ahead of everyone else in the world. So I was thinking, what do? I really wouldn't want to go to sleep on this one, because then my subconscious will work it all out. I want to work it out. So what did I do? At 1:12 on that morning, without chessboards or pieces or anything like that, any sort of visual aid, I came up with the solution. So if you don't want to see the solution, then I suggest run away, or something like that. So I'm going to show you the solution, and that is the end of this session, and or something like that, because I do kind of like to talk about this, because it's very good for me at the end of the day to be able to work this out in my head at the age of 22, I mean 32, I mean 42, I mean 52, no, I mean nearly 58. Okay, so here we go. Now if white plays rook d3, thinking get in behind and in front of this pawn, the doubled isolated pawns on the d file, then black has a very easy way to win here. And of course, you all can see this. It's very easy, even when you haven't got vision of the chessboard like I did. We can all see that now black, if they're not careful, if they play bishop here, will be struggling to draw against the rook with the bishop. Because if bishop here, then we have rook takes pawn, and it's now black's probably got to draw with bishop f3 check, and king somewhere here or here, and then d5. Now, let's go back over those moves. So there's a big mistake with those moves. Because if the bishop just comes here to say, look, I want to be able to move here and queen, it's not very good. So black plays here after rook d3, which I worked it out in my head, which is better for me, and I checked with the person that was the author of this problem, send it to me. Hope you haven't seen it before, but if you have, that's okay. Revision and memory is very good. Then we have bishop to f3 check. Now check is way more powerful than just a bishop move, say to e2 or something like this away, and then be able to play d1 with queen. So here we've got the first move, which is bishop f3, which is also offering the bishop up to the rook by rook takes bishop. But if rook takes bishop, then we have just queening here, and a queen and a pawn to the good for the rook, for the alternative side, is a winning position for black in that case. So white cannot take the bishop because of d1 queen, and the game's over for white. And because it's check, white hasn't got time to move their king and take the pawn next move in their move, because we only get one move in at each time in chess. Even though we count it only two moves as one move, we're actually making two moves. So here we go, bishop f3 check. Now wherever the king moves, let's move it here. Then this is a queen, and it's check to the rook, and so the rook's probably going to take the queen. And then here, okay, you might think this is a draw. Okay, you might think this is a draw, but it's not really, because here we got just bishop here. Now the king can't get in proximity to the pawn except for this move here, where the pawn just runs and keeps running all the way to the queenly square without the king being able to catch it on time, even though Nimzovich would say that's an excellent move. Okay, so here we've got maybe this move, okay, d5. Now if king makes contact, we can just bring our king here, okay, here, here, here. Now we want to do something about this, or we could move our king here, but I would prefer this move, and then probably the best move for white is this move and this move. And now we're running out of options for white. We could play here, but then king e5 is very healthy and the pawn starts marching heavily. King here, and then black gets the opposition and the protection of the bishop here on e4, so the pawn can now run. Now we can just feed this pawn further and further up the board, watching that we don't lose it like in bullet chess. This is very easy, or berserk mode, which I've almost played. Bullet chess, this is very, very hard to play, because you can drop the pawn, or white can draw from here. So here we've got just this d3 check, and king up here would probably be the best, I think, or feel. King here or here or here is no good, but here, and then the black king gets the opposition again, because there's odd amount of squares in between. And now once this king goes to one of these squares, then the king can come in with devastating checks with the pawns, and even checkmates in some cases. No, not really, but or stalemates. So here we've got is it white's turn? Here is a good move, and then here. Now we could even do this driving away sacrifice, bishop c2, and king turn queen, and then we're queen up for the good. But if you're a wee bit greedy, don't go here, because that's a draw. Okay, there's stalemate there. You can go here, bishop f3 check, and queen here. Okay, queen or rook, but not bishop. Bishop's a knight, still a win, but not bishop. So you can pick between queen. We'll take the queen, and then it's all over from there. So that's what white has to be very careful of. Okay. Now I wish to show you. I've already said that it's a check. So what rook check would you give here for white? And please remember, this is in my head. Okay, so here we go. Here is the solution, the final part of the story, the continuing story of me working it out when I was doing something else just before bedtime. I have to brush my teeth and all those sorts of things. So I was thinking about this problem while I was doing this, and maybe even a little bit more than just the ad breaks. So here I came up with this check, you see, check. This is the new main line, of course. Now the king's got two squares available, or else the interpolation of the bishop, which is rather foolhardy for black. Black will probably lose then, or will lose, I think. So black has two moves here. This move and this move. Now it looks more natural to come up the board, because if we go here, then the check just happens again. And notice something about this position, okay? Notice something about this position. If the king goes on to this F file here in any such way, then the rook can merely just go pick up the pawn. So I'm going to show you this, because this is a good study, this. So we'll go king here, okay? Rook check. And now we'll make this move, which looks quite good for black, but there's a big flaw with this, and this is it. Now this is probably still a draw for black, but if they now play bishop f3 check, okay, the importance of endgame study, if they now play bishop f3 check to the white king on a8, then white has this very nice move to play, which is, of course, rook takes bishop check. Now if it wasn't check, then the pawn would run, and that would be the end of it. So we have the king having to stay off the f file for this capture of the bishop on f3, and then the rook just merely goes back here. And you might think, well, I can probably, you probably could still draw this, but you have to be very careful for black, which is not the aim of this. It's meant to be hard for white. So we'll go back to the check, which is here, and then king there, and rook g3. Now the king actually moves here, okay? This is a new main line. You should know that, computer, because you should be able to work this out. Now, do we check the king again? Here, I don't think it would be a very good idea, because I believe that the bishop would now play in between the check by bishop h5. But now white just merely goes back to d3. Now, can you see what white's plan is here? Okay, can you see what white can do here? And I know I'm running into 30 minutes, but this is a good exercise, and especially if you do it in your head without all my rambling and verboseness. And that's the thing. Now we have the bishop f3 check. And does the bishop get taken by the rook, or does the king move? So if you can see this, that's very, very good. So here we go. This is it. This is the finale here. Bishop check, and now we have to either take the bishop, or we have to go bishop here. Is that the answer? Or we move our king somewhere. Do we move our king? Where do we move our king to? It's important. So that's a wee clue. It's important to where we move our king. So if we're going to move our king, which I've more or less said, white now moves their king, you've got two options, of course. You can either move king b8 or king a7. Okay. Now king b8 looks like a good move, and so does king a7. They both look equal, but what's going to happen after d1, which is all part of this problem? Okay. So if the king goes to b8, I will show you this line is queen here, and here, similar to the other variation where the pawn promotes to queen, this d6 pawn, black is completely won. White can give up. So it's very similar. Okay. So I hear you say, well, okay, what's the difference? Okay. Now after this bishop check, instead of going king b8, we go here. Okay. This is the new main line. You should know that, computer. So here we've got the main line. Okay. So this is a half-hour instruction on this endgame, which is something very important in chess to do, and it's very good for my confidence to be able to do this in my head as well as it is for you. But you can do it. You really, really can do this. If I can do this, then so can you. So here we have the move for black. Okay, so black makes this a queen. Okay, now have you seen it yet? Okay, now we have a spectacular rook sacrifice. Is that rook takes bishop? Is that rook takes queen? Or is it rook takes pawn? Check. Which one is it? If it's rook takes queen, then it's very similar to the first showing of pawn promoting. If it's rook takes bishop, well, that's sort of really nonsense. And if it's something else, then it's something else. So here we have the following nice move, rook d6, which is actually a skewer, and now you would appreciate this check. So it's now actually a skewer. The rook is attacking the queen and also checking the king at the same time. So I hear you say, well, just take the rook with the queen, duh, because otherwise white's just going to play rook takes queen and it's a draw, no mating material left. Okay, right, watch what happens when I do that. Stalemate. Okay, now comes your exercise. What happens if black makes the d2 pawn back here into a rook? Okay, what happens if they make it a rook? That's your wee exercise. Try to do that in your head. What do you do next? Thank you very much. I hope that's not too long, but it's quite a nice wee study. And here we have a picture that I've picked up from the internet, and that will be the end of the session. Here I have a picture from the internet where the eagle is flying and the dog is not realizing their surroundings, and they're trying to catch the eagle. So not losing your head over the eagle that's flying, not being aware of your circumstances. So when you make your move, unlike me, try to think about what's going on instead of just thinking, oh, there's a bird. Is it a plane? Is it a bird? It's Superman or Batman or Superman. All the best with your chess, no matter where you are in the world and no matter what your level in chess. I hope you've enjoyed this session. All the best. And if I say kia ora, it can, in the old days it used to mean get up and fight. If it was yelled at you, obviously they weren't up yet. And the other, now it means the very best British health to you. Bye for now. Please call back.